All right, we are going to talk about the slope of a line. So if you know any 2 points on a line or 2 solutions, because remember points are the same things as solutions of a linear equation, you can find the slope of the line without graphing. You don't even need to graph it. All you need to know are the 2 points and you can totally figure out what the slope of a line is. So what it says is the slope m, remember that's the variable that means the same thing as slope, of a line through the points x1 and y1, this would be a first point, and x2, y2, that's our second point, is found by the following equation. M equals y2 minus y1, which is the same thing as finding the difference in the y values, which is actually the change in y. You're finding the change in y here, over x2 minus x1, which is the difference of the x values, which is really finding the change in x. So it's all really the same thing as the rate of change. So this is a formula used when you have 2 points and you need to find the slope of a line. So you need to go ahead and memorize this bad boy. All right, let's go ahead and do a problem and apply this. So here we go. This is our problem. Finding the slope given 2 points. So if you're given 2 points, you have to find the slope. So here's our first point, here's our second point. The first thing I like to do is go ahead and write my original equation. So I'm going to write m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. That is my slope formula when I'm given 2 points. The next thing I'm going to do is define my variables. This is my first point, so I'm going to call this x1. This is and this is my y1. This is my second point, so I'm going to call this x2, and this is my y2. Now I'm just going to go ahead and substitute these values into this equation. So my y2 is 6. So I substitute 6 in for the y2. I write the minus sign. And then there's the y1, which is a negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead, since I'm substituting that into for a variable, I'm going to put it in parentheses all over x2, which is x2 is 4, minus x1, which is negative 2. So I'm going to substitute that negative 2 in for the x1. So I have to put it in parentheses. And what I see is I have 2 negatives here, so those 2 negatives are going to be positive, and I'm going to have 6 plus 3, which is 9, over what's happening down here. There's 2 negatives, and they are also going to become positive, and I have 4 plus 2, which is 6. Now, slope is always in simplest form, so we need to look at 9 over 6 and be like, hey, is there a number that goes into them? And yes, 3 does. 3 goes in there 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 2 times. So our slope is actually 3 over 2, so we would say m equals 3 over 2. That is the slope between these 2 points without even graphing it all. And now it is time for you to apply the slope formula. So the first thing you're going to do, let's recap, is write the slope formula. That's going to be first, okay? The second thing you're going to do is define the terms for the first point and the second point, and then substitute them into the formula and go for it. All right, where is our friend? Where is he? Where did he go? It is the pause dragon. And the pause dragon is coming to say, hey, go ahead and pause, figure this problem out, and we'll see you in a bit. All right. We are back, and we're going to go ahead and see how you did on this problem. The first thing I'm going to do is write down my slope formula, and yes, I'm going to write it down on every single problem I do, every single one. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. I'm going to define my variables. This is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, and this is my y2, and I'm going to define my variables every single time. Now I'm just going to substitute these values into the formula. So my y2 is 3 minus my y1 is a negative 6, and whenever I substitute a negative number in for a variable, I'm going to put it in parentheses, just like so. And then what do I have? My x2 is 2 minus my x1 is also a negative 4, so I'm going to go ahead and substitute that in parentheses because it's a negative number. And then we're just going to do this integers right here. We got a negative, minus a negative number. Those become a positive. 3 plus 6 is 9. We have, oh man, this is very similar, minus a negative, which is a positive. So we have 2 plus 4 is 6. And can it be simplified? Yes, 3 goes in there 3 times, 3 goes in there 2 times. We are left with 3 over 2, which means that m equals 3 over 2. That is the slope. We are done, and good job. See you later. Bye.